Down from QR Squared Quantity Surveyors. I'm the co-founder of the business. We are registered building practitioners and chartered quantity surveyors. I've been working as a quantity surveyor for the last few years at a UK-based company. And we're dealing with clients ranging from the private house owners, individuals, to the large corporate national-sized client. And my topic today will be focusing on the impact of this federal budget on the Victorian housing property. So for those of you who are not aware of what it is a quantity surveyor, we work on behalf of the client to ensure they are receiving the best value of money and to protect their financial interest. The most common questions I get from all my clients are those like how much I need for this kind of project, construction project in each year, how much I need to pay. What can I do to ensure I have the right builder and I'm not getting ripped off? How can I know if the builder are doing their own job to the contract and not claiming any unreasonable extras? And if I can get money from bank on time. That's why we're here to help you out. To put it to a broader perspective, we are, can you see the cursor? Our services cover cost planning, life cycle costing, procurement and tendering, value management, contract administration, and tax depreciation schedules. I'll come back to it shortly. As you know, Melbourne has been the most consistently performing property market over the last 10 years. As you can see in this chart on the right, the prices of housing in Melbourne just keeps changing all the time over the last decade. Just give you an example, in terms of a metro Melbourne, the median price for a house in March is about 1.5 million, which was 1.42 December last year. That equals to a 5.8% increase. And this market performance should further improve in the second half of the year with the introduction of new government incentives and making the housing market still be a major economic driver in Australia. I'll ask you a question before I come into my topic. How many of you guys are currently renting? Yeah, a few of you. Who has got your own property already?
Yes.
Yeah. Any of you have a second property for investment? You have everything. Who hasn't got a permanent residency yet? Well, I will come back to you. So my topic today will be relevant to all of you. So if not, I'll be ripping up here and taking off. So what are the common issues now we are observing nowadays? The potential first home buyers are struggling into transition into their first home ownership and are staying into the rental market for such a long time and for longer. As a result, the households on median to lower median incomes are finding it difficult and increasingly more and more difficult to find affordable rental properties. And this has led to a longer waiting list for public and community housing. While this budget will be focusing on addressing the housing supply and affordability through a number of tax and superannuation measures. So what is the reason why the housing prices are staying high? It's because the weak construction activities happening in the mid to late 2000s, resulting in the undersupply of the housing stock. What drove the undersupply? The high cost of building critical infrastructures such as road and water networks can delay the commencement of housing stock, housing development. The government is funding the road and railway investment to reduce the congestion and grow regional communities to deliver 75 billion over the next 10 years. The major projects underway is the Monash Freeway upgrade, which probably most of you are aware of, and this was budgeted like $500 million previously, and now it's toward a billion investment. And another major one is another $500 million for the M8 ring road, which will complement the Northeast Link. There are also new initiatives, such as a $1 billion package for Victoria, including the regional passenger rail, Melbourne Airport Rail Link, and also there will be inland railway between Melbourne and Brisbane. Once the transport infrastructure is on its way, are there sufficient land for the new development? So the government is trying to make the Commonwealth surplus land holdings available for new housing, and it will facilitate with the workplace, education, health center, as well as the retail facilities to back it up. So as Mong mentioned earlier, there will be 127 hectares of the surplus defend land in Maribyrnong will be made available, which is less than 10 kilometers from the CBD, and this can support up to 6,000 new homes. Well, the land is contaminated at the moment, but the government will definitely make a special treatment before it's open for the development. And the government will also take effort in speeding up the development application processes to reward all the state and territory government and councils. So, for those of you who live in the large house, might be the time to sell. Mong has touched base on this topic, and the older Australians will be encouraged to downsize their homes, like large-size homes, and free up the housing stock for the younger families. While this is unlikely that a large number of big, like 4 to 5 bedroom houses will be coming on the market straight away, as these initiatives will starting from the 1st of July next year. So what are the changes for the first home buyers? The government will allow the home buyers to build a concessionally tax deposit into their superannuation, and I believe this part will be further introduced by Suran. And from the 1st of July this year, which will be in a couple of days, you will be able to sacrifice your salary up to a maximum of 30 grand or 15 grand each year over your compulsory super contribution, and you can then withdraw this cash plus any savings a year after, which will give you a better saving interest over a normal savings account. And there is a calculator on the federal budget website. You can just do your own calculation. The government will also abolish the stamp duty for the home buyers properties up to 600 grand. And there will be cuts of the stamp duty to the property up to 750 grand for both new and existing properties, which is currently only applied to the new properties. And this measure will take effective from the 1st of July this year. The government will also double of the first homeowner grant to 20 grand in regional Victoria, such as Mildura, Ballarat, Greater Geelong, Grampian, and those remote areas in Victoria. The introduction of the Home Sleek appliance assistant pilot will help up to 400 first home buyers to acquire their home loans, because they are the people who are not qualified for the deposit, but they are eligible for their home loans. There will be a number of different changes applying to the investors and the local investors. Firstly, the good news is there will be no change on the negative gearing, which means you can still claim a loss on your investment property. That is good. And also from the 1st of January 2018, the government will encourage investment in new and existing affordable rental housing by increasing the capital gain tax discount from 50 to 60%, which Mong has touched base on that. I'll skip that. Here comes the bad news. the investor will no longer be claiming the tax deduction for the travel. Well, you can still claim these expenses from your agent, but just at a higher rate. So you can claim the expenses charged by your property agent, but not by your own expenses. And also the amount that property investors can claim on the tax depreciation deduction is also changing. For those of you who are not familiar with what is a tax depreciation schedule, the ATO allows the owner of the income-producing property, which is your investment property, to claim depreciation deduction for the wear and tear that occurs to the building element, which is the walls, the concrete slabs, and the building structure, as well as the plant and equipment asset, which is the removable asset within your property, such as the curtain, the air conditioners, and the ovens as such. And this schedule can be produced for 10 years to 40 years to reduce your taxable income and increase your cash flow. Most importantly, this has to be done by a quantity surveyor, which is me. And for those of you who hasn't got this tax depreciation schedule for the property acquired before May the 9th this year, is probably the best time to have it done before any further changes in the rules. If you say that's the bad news for the local investor, you'll probably feel it will be a disaster for the foreign investors. The government will abolish stamp duty exemption for the off-the-plan properties over 750 grand from the 1st of July. And the capital gain tax applied to the foreign investors on the disposal of the property from the 9th of May as the same. The government will prevent you from claiming the May residence capital gain tax exemption when you sell a property. And the withholding rate will be increased from 10% to 12.5% paid to the ATO, with the threshold cutting from 2 million to 750. However, the existing properties held before this time will still remain eligible until June the 30th, 2019. The other major changes to the foreign investors is the government will also introduce an annual vacancy rate charge on your residential property where the property is not occupied or genuinely openly available in the market for at least 6 months of the year. And the charge will be equivalent to the relevant application fee imposed on the property at the time it was acquired. And also there will be a 50% cap on the total amount of the dwelling within any development that the developer are eligible to sell to the foreign investors. The application fee for the foreign purchase of residential properties valued less than 10 million will be increased by 10% on the current fee, effective from the 1st of July. And the introduction of the new vacancy charge, the capital gain discount, and the MITs, the managed investment trust, will free up more rental housing in the market and will especially benefit the low to moderate incomers. And the government will also introduce and establish a website to connect the renters and the landlord who are wishing to commit to the rental arrangement for over 5 years. So this measure will give you more security and certainty on your housing arrangement and the cash flow you are going to be spending over the next 5 years. And this pretty much concludes my presentation. Do you have any questions?
Yes.
Yeah.
So say you bought, for the new home buyers grant, how you get no stamp duty after 1st of July 17. If you're building and you've signed the contract but you don't build until next year, do you still get that or no?
Well, not really.
Okay.
It really depends on are you a local investor?
Right.
Yeah, so you pretty much don't get it.
Oh no, this is not for me. But if you're like, say, if you're like a first home buyer and you buy the land, and then you don't build on it because the land.
Yeah, no,
it's different to the property.
Yes and no. It's the contract. It's the contract the date of
Yeah.
the deal.
Yeah.
It is. It's not the. It's not even the settlement date.
Okay.
It is not when you want to change the structure. It's not when you want decide to build it. It is property law has an implication saying that anything attached to the land, it belongs to the land. So it's considered kind of like one property. So you already bought the land. Anything you change on top of the land is one property. So it's not a second deal. It's the same deal.
Yeah, I think it's more on the building itself rather than the land by itself. So let's welcome Suren for his topic.
Okay.